Here at the Ulster Museum, we have worked with the Centre for Data Digitisation and Analysis, based at Queen's University, to 3D scan some of our First World War objects. There are many benefits of 3D scanning our First World War artefacts. The main one is, for example, if I show you this Brodie First World War helmet, to the visitor, you could only see this from the outside the display case. However, by 3D scanning this object, you can see the original leather lining and this rubber ring. This rubber ring dates from post-1917, so we know that this helmet was made after that time. Also, this maker's mark FS, which you would not see standing outside the display case, but you would see by a 3D scan. This mark is for Firth and Sons. This was a factory in Sheffield which produced these helmets from 1915 to 1918. So by examining the objects thoroughly and allowing the 3D scans to showcase these features, we can tell our visitors more about these objects.
Well, the benefits of scanning an object are numerous. You can obviously disseminate it through the internet and let other people see the object. You can then create a 3D model of the object and 3D print it and have replicas. And then you have a perfect sub-millimeter digital record of it.
When scanning these 3D objects, we do have problems. Because the artifacts can be quite easily damaged, we're trying to be as careful with them as possible. When we're 3D scanning them, we always have to take into consideration the type of material, the colouring. It's not like scanning one object where maybe you've got stone or rock, because this is all different materials where you've got metals to cotton to other different types of materials, it can be a problem. So we have to try and use three to four different types of scanning. We've got laser scanners. We also use photogrammetry, which is the best for this kind of material because there's so many different objects on it. We also use 360 scanning. Depending on the artifact that we're actually doing will depend on the type of scan we actually use. So we'll have to get the object, assess it, and see what type of technique that we're going to use to get the best output.
Okay, so this type of 3D scanning is based on a principle called structure from motion. Structure from motion uses specialist software and a high-end digital camera to collect photographs of the object, in this case the uniforms that have been mounted on a mannequin. And we take overlapping images around the object, we bring it into the software, and then the software basically constructs a 3D image of the object from the photographs that we take. There are some challenges that we have to overcome. For example, when we're using a camera, we're trying to image the object as much as possible, but sometimes we just can't see parts of the surface from the camera. For example, equipment that may be on the item or other objects, belts and buckles and buttons, sometimes are obscured by other parts of the object, and the camera, because it's line of sight, the camera sees what we see. It's a digital camera, so it can't see behind stuff. So we have issues then with not getting maybe 100% of the surface detail on the object. So when we try to reconstruct the object and we have some missing information in the photograph, we can end up with holes basically in our data set. But thankfully within the software, there's a few tricks we can do to minimize the holes in the data and to make the model look sort of more complete.
By having the 3D scans of our First World War artefacts, this increases the learning and interpretive potential of our First World War collection. It allows us to map them into a landscape where we can put these objects in context.